What is going on, everybody? So today I want to talk about some One Piece sets that could really pop off more than they already have this year, and some sets that aren't out that I think could pop off, especially if One Piece sees an uptick in popularity. And there is something that's going to happen this year, more than likely this year, early next year, that could lead to a large uptake in the One Piece TCG. So if you guys look at Google Trends and we look at the worldwide search for One Piece over 2004 till present, basically the longest period you can track, here in 2023, you see this massive uptick to 100, and this was release of season 1 of the One Piece live action series on Netflix, and season 2 is going to be coming out either later this year towards the end of it or very early in 2026. That's essentially what we got right now. And I'm not saying that when you have a massive uptick like this in Google Trends that directly correlates with the TCG, because that's not the case, but you will see an increase in popularity. Some people will trickle over from the live action to the anime to the TCG. Like it trickles down that way. It always has, it always will. Same thing happened with Pokemon. You can see in 2016, Pokemon Go came out. It was the most popular period for Pokemon probably ever. And at that time, Evolutions came out that was super hot. There were a few other sets in that era that did really well. I'm not saying directly correlates, because if you look at this Google trend for Pokemon, it doesn't work out perfectly, but you can see that a big event like Pokemon Go or the live action season 1 can lead to a lot more eyeballs coming into the TCG or just the hobby in general. So I think that will happen again with season 2. I'm not going to say that it will be at this level, or it might even be higher. Like, who knows? Either way, it will bring more people in. And outside that, I mean, if Pokemon just continues to be unattainable for certain people, you probably will see a lot of those people come over to One Piece. And if you look at North America, Canada, and the US, very low search levels compared to places in Europe. You know, a lot of these countries in Europe, France especially, Spain as well, Mongolia, parts of Asia, the game is much more popular there, the anime as well. So once that makes its way over to the US and Canada, it really is game over, I think. Even if these levels don't get to Pokemon levels, if they double or triple and we see a larger uptake, a lot of these sets are going to do great things. And one of those sets is going to be OPO5. And I'm sorry we're deep into the video before we even talk about a set, but you guys know OPO5, one of my favorites. You have the Luffy in there, the original manga Luffy. You have the gold signature Ichiro Oda card as well. Those two cards alone just make the set great. Then you have the Law manga. You have the Captain manga, a couple decent special or secret rares in there as well. So, I mean, even though the set's already $250-ish, in reality, it might be closer to like $220 on the open market. Either way, I still think this box has a lot of room to grow, especially if it doesn't get another reprint. I still think it could, in theory, get a reprint. It's still going to be in rotation until 2027. The box price is getting up there, so Bandai might push it again. But if that doesn't happen, this set could just go nuclear, especially if we have like a 50 to 100% increase in popularity for some of these cards and demand essentially for them. The other one, PRBO1, we've talked about this all the time, guys, but I just wanted to point this out. Over the past couple days, you've had like 11 or 12 boxes sell on TCG Player, all in that $280 USD range. In Canada, you still have around 20 boxes in that like 360, 370 Canadian range, which is a little bit off from 270, 280 USD, but pretty close to that, pretty close, maybe like 250, 260 USD in that range. So the boxes are drying up, and not at a slow rate, like at a pretty decent rate still. Now for sets coming out this year, OP11 is probably going to be a very big one. People are trying to get pre-orders of this. I'm still looking to get a case of this if I can get a good pre-order. In Canada, there's one store selling them for 200 Canadian right now. So after tax, I'm going to be in about $210 Canadian a box, which is like 150 USD, 145, something like that, which I don't think is great, but I still might do it. And I mean, this set's going to be very good. You have the Luffy's, which are reprints from OPO5, which again, call back to OPO5, great set. Gold foils in the background, though, these are going to be very expensive cards in English. That's just the reality, even if they are reprints. You have another Luffy, which is from OP11. You have the Gear 2 Luffy from OP11. So a couple original Luffy cards in there as well. And then some other reprints and stuff, which is great. Do I think this set's going to be better than OP09? I don't know. I think it's close. I think you could go either way. So make sure you get at least some exposure to OP11. Outside that, guys, we'll talk about a couple more sets, but I first wanted to jump in here and say 74.7% of you guys watching these videos aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you're getting some value, you enjoy the content, consider subscribing. It helps out a lot. That's all I'm going to say there. The other set this year that I think is going to do decently well is EBO2. And I have pre-ordered a lot more EBO2 since the last time we talked. I'm even looking at getting more. And the thing that's interesting about EBO2, because I think OP11 has a better, deeper set, right? With those Luffys. EBO2, you will have the Gear 2 manga Luffy, which is great. You're also going to have another Luffy card that is exclusive to this set so far. You have a Boa Hancock reprint. Outside that, we're going to have the gold foil leaders or whatever. So there's going to be some decent things in this set. I still think OP11's deeper, but when we look at EBO1 and how well this did, again, part of that was due to some cards being meta, just not that many boxes being out there, but this thing still popped off and it hasn't got a reprint. So if you go with OP11, I think there's a much higher chance of reprints just based on Bandai's history. And again, that could change at any time. Bandai could reprint PRBO1, they could reprint EBO1, like all within their right. All of those sets have basically been out about a year or less. So that's very reasonable to reprint those types of sets, especially since they're still in rotation. They're not old sets at all. OP11, I mean, this is going to get reprinted as well. The set's not even out yet. So and it's going to be in rotation for what, 2 to 3 years at that point. So more than likely, we're going to see more OP11 at a certain point. Same thing with what happened with OP05. I mean, this was up to around $230. A reprint basically halved that price for a week or so there, and then it continued to climb since then. But the point I'm trying to get at is I doubt there's going to be as much EBO2 as OP11. I could be wrong, but that's just based on Bandai's history, what I'm assuming. And also, when you look at EBO2, the set is just better than EBO1. Sure, you have the Chopper, you have a couple other decent cards in here as well. But the fact that EBO2 is going to have a couple Luffys, especially the Gear 2 manga Luffy, the gold foil leaders, a Boa Hancock, I think that alone just puts it above EBO1. And then something else that I haven't even touched on in this video, I still think OP13 is going to be a really good set later this year. I think it comes out in November. We still don't really know anything about that other than it's more than likely going to feature Luffy, Ace, and Sabo, I believe. So that alone is already off to a good start. Maybe there was talks about Gold Roger being in there as well. I honestly haven't kept up with it, but once we know some leaks, I will talk about it. Either way, you guys let me know in the comments down below what you think. I'm very excited for One Piece this year, with season 2 of the live action hopefully coming out this year. I think it's going to bring a lot of eyes back to the One Piece hobby. You're going to have creators trying to feed off of that hype. They're going to be doing box breaks. More people are going to be looking at the cards, and that's eventually going to trickle down to more people buying boxes, holding sealed product, etc. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you are shopping, eBay, TCG Player, Hobbiesville, I do have affiliate links down below. They're free and easy to use. I get a small kickback from it, so it's a free and easy way to support the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.